So therefore, when we engage in spiritual practice, it is hard. It is difficult. The harder it is, the more difficult it is, shows us how strong our ego is. It shows us how incredibly strong our selfish mind is. However strong our selfish mind is how hard spiritual practice will be. Why is that? Because you're going against your normal habituations for a long, long time. So people who find spiritual practice very difficult, if people even listen to spiritual practice, it's very difficult to listen or focus or stay awake. It shows you that you're going against your brain. There are many people, if you check it out, if you feel tired doing a Dharma talk, and you find it difficult for 1 or 2 hours, but if you put yourself in another situation, whatever situation you're in for 1 or 2 hours, if you listen, you find it difficult, then it's consistent. But if you find some situations, it's very easy, and some situations very different, it's purely habituation. It's not good or bad or evil or not. Purely habituation. So in that way, we can track our mind. In that way, we can track the way our mind forces us to become its slave. So therefore, if we find it very difficult to read Dharma books, but we find it very easy to read fashion magazines, for example, very easy to flip through it, very easy to look through it, and we're intensely reading it, if we find that reading is reading, words is words, meaning is meaning, why is one meaning difficult and the other meaning not difficult? So that's how we can check our mind. To say, oh, we don't have time to read, or we can't read, or I'm not really a reader, or I'm not able to read. We have to check if our mind is consistent. Is consistent or not. So if our mind is consistent in all forms of reading, and maybe we're even illiterate, that's a different story, but most likely it's not the case. So the important thing is if we come across a difficulty, make it simple. It is difficult because we have not pushed ourselves towards that direction. If we don't push ourselves toward that direction, we may be losing out something very great. In the sense of spiritual practice. Some people can go through tremendous spiritual hardships and difficulties, tremendous throughout their lives. One obstacle after another, one suffering after another, one letdown, one disillusionment after another. Yet they don't ever stop practicing. But for them, for worldly things, maybe if they try business, or maybe they try cooking, or maybe they try fishing, and they're not successful after a few times, they give up. Why do they give up? Because their habituation is not towards that. Some people, when it's toward Dharma practice, they give up very easy. But towards fishing or entertainment or singing or laying around or having a good time, they don't give up easy. Why don't they give up easy? Because that's a clear indication of the state of their mind. Again, what I want you to get out of the framework is it's criticism. It's not, I'm giving you a guideline. I'm giving you a guideline to check. It may seem like criticism to some people who's guilty, self-guilty of the action, so they feel uncomfortable, but it's not criticism from me. Why? It's presentation of information. Presentation of incredible information that we can use as a guideline for our lives, for our relationship, for what we want to accomplish, and for the people around us. Therefore, if we always find something difficult, and I'm talking about, in this case, spiritual practice, then that can be very dangerous for us. Why? The mind can make many types of excuses, justifications, covers, and fears to not engage in spiritual practice. Not engage. Or while we're engaging, it's not sincere and real. And then our mind is distracted. And we make our time up by substituting with other things that make the time go away. So the important factor here is we must examine our minds. We must confront our minds. We must face our minds. if we don't face our minds, the people we feel secure around will one day be gone. That is for sure. That is definitely for sure. The people we feel secure around will one day be gone, or we be gone before them. If we don't confront our minds, the very opportunity we have in front of us at this time, health, can be gone. The very opportunity we have in front of us, such as a Dharma center, can be gone. Dharma centers have closed. Great monasteries have been destroyed. Great teachers die. Great masters get killed. So when we have the great opportunity in front of us and we don't engage in it, what we need to do is, what I was told by my teacher was, to in fact meditate and contemplate, truly contemplate and meditate on the impermanence of everything around us. Whatever we are attached to, whatever we want to escape to, whatever we want to hold on to, whatever it is, we have to concentrate on its impermanence. Why? Because it's the truth. Impermanence is a truth that cannot be taken away by any philosophy, any religion, or anyone. You see, there are philosophical points or methods, that's a better word, philosophical methods that different religions can debate on with each other. And the debate goes on and on. But there are ultimate truths, such as impermanence, that no one can debate on, that no one can take away, and no one can demean, or no one can say it doesn't exist. So those are the universal truths that Buddhism likes to focus on. It's not debatable. You want to debate, you can, but it will be only one conclusion. If you talk about meditating on Buddha or Jesus, there are many debates, and that debate has no conclusion. It's either or, no problem. But when you talk about impermanence, to apply to making ourselves feel an urgency not to lose a chance, that one's not debatable. Why? Why is it not debatable? Because it's a truth that encompasses all cultures, all people, all races, and time. So if we meditate on impermanence, that the person we're very attached to, because usually in life it's people, it's money, it's entertainment, those are the things that we're usually attached to. Most of us. Attached meaning what? Let me give you the definition of attached. Attached meaning we feel that this person, this situation, this activity will secure us with what we want in life. That if we have this person, if we have this activity, if we have this action, we are secure. Hence, when we feel that, think about it, when we feel that and we engage in it, we're still insecure. The person we're with might be taken away by someone else. The person we're with, their mood might change, their thoughts might change. Our karma with that person might end. We ourselves may not like that person anymore, or the person might be separated by sickness or death or other reasons. And so when any of these reasons arise for us to be separated from that person, we suffer tremendously. Why do we suffer tremendously? Because we've held on to this person as security and permanence. And that's where the suffering comes. So people blame the person. It's not the person. It's our projection of the person. We have to think about that. So therefore, if we're attached to some activity, such as frivolous entertainment, and we're very attached to it. Attached again means what? Thinking that this activity brings us secure, constant, non-stop happiness. If we're attached to it, that's the definition of attachment. So don't take it as a negative connotation. Take it as just an explanation of how the mind works. When we are attached to frivolous entertainment, that moment we feel peace, but we find that we gain less and less and less and less and less peace, less and less security, less and less respect, less and less achievements. Why is that? Because frivolous entertainment take us away from achieving our work, achieving our assignment, achieving our goals, achieving our spiritual practice, achieving our manifestation of love for people we love, for example, our parents, our partners, it takes away from it. Why? If we engage our time in frivolous entertainment again and again, it is not negative in itself, but its repercussions are negative. Why? It takes away from something else that we can accomplish, that would gain us respect, that would gain us love, that would gain us friends, that would gain us, inverted commas, samsara, security of some level. Some level. So when we are frivolous, it's just very simple. If we're supposed to do an assignment, or we're supposed to do something for work, and we don't, and we're sitting there staring at the sky, we're imagining things, we're watching TV, we're surfing on the net, we're running around with friends, we're gossiping, we're doing these kind of things. The action we're supposed to do, we don't get to do, and when we actually get to it, we do it very fast, haphazardly, as quick as possible, or we altogether forget. So what's the repercussions of that is very clear. Our bosses and friends and our co-workers will not respect us. We lose respect for ourselves. It's only so much we can hide. It's only for so long we can hide. That is just an example that we can apply to everything. So when we're attached to frivolous activity, watching videos and surfing the net and running around and talking, gossiping, going out to eat and all that, those itself is not negative. Those itself are actually neutral. What makes it positive or negative is the results that it bears for us and others. So what makes it negative is the result that it bears for ourselves and others. So if people ask, how do I know if that's good or bad? Look at the results. Look at the results. That's very, very simple. How do we know, for example, in this one it says, how do we know if the Lama's action is good or bad? Look at his senior students. Look at their mind. Look at their level. Look how they think. Look how hard they work. Look how devoted they are. Look at how they change their lives and other people's lives. So how do we know if a Lama's action is good or bad? If we're confused, we look at the senior students. We look at the results of it. We look at how other monks react or other teachers react. We see how his students react. We see those actions as a result of whether our Lama's actions are good or bad.